Hey, this is Spanner from the Spanner and Rig Show. We're here with our next episode. We have a Bison signee on the show today, and we're going to talk a little TikTok today, and we're going to talk about how awesome the North Dakota kids are today. What do you think? You ready?
Absolutely.
Let's go. Hey, welcome to the high school segment of the Spanner and Rig Show. We're here with Mattie Jacobson. She's an interesting athlete. She goes to our Redeemers, but she competes at Minot High in 3 different sports, and that's kind of cool.
Pretty remarkable.
It's really remarkable. Mattie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So you did diving, you do track,
Yep.
you do dance. So what season is dance in, and did you have to do it at the same time as diving or the same time as track? How does that work?
The diving season is in the fall, and then dance overlaps about a month with diving, and then it ends before the spring season starts.
And I guess we should tell them that she's signed to be a Bison, and she's going to dance for the Bison, and that's pretty cool, huh?
It is, absolutely. It's unbelievable. You know, everybody loves the Bison, and all of a sudden, you know, here she is. So explain to us, though, with such a diverse amount of sports that you're playing, and like you said, overlap, how do you fit in the practice and training? Like, how do you juggle that schedule?
She's a baller, Riggs. A total baller. Go ahead, Mattie. Sorry about that, but I explained that to him. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm pretty lucky that my sports are all different seasons, and when there was overlap, usually my coaches were willing to let me leave one practice a little early to make the next one and things like that.
That's pretty cool. And different seasons. I played 3 different seasons in high school, and I absolutely sucked at the first month of every season until I could get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it totally is. But no, in regards to dance, though, like it seems like that has grown in popularity. You know, I know my little one's shown some interest in it, and I know that you can start at a very young age. But was dance one of those ones where you started fairly early when you were a little kid?
Yep, I was put in when I was 3.
So I think that the viewers out there probably don't know how much work gets put into dance, you know, and even cheerleading and some of those other events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Athletics, sports, however you want to look at it, and they're super athletic. Okay, so tell us how much work you put in.
There's usually practice every weekday, and then there's long practices on Saturdays for club dance. And then in high school dance, you just practice like a normal sport with practices throughout the week and then competitions on the weekend.
And so how do you do that? Do you like have a choreographed routine that you guys are preparing for the next show, or is it something that's just kind of all encumbersome?
Yep. So this past season, we started learning our dances in July. And then, so we have someone come in, teach us the dances, and then we just practice them ourselves from then on with our coaches.
I want to know something, and I've seen some pretty cool dance routines. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just look cool, right? You know,
Sure they do.
how hard is it to get everyone on the exact same rhythm, or and
Jeez.
sometimes you guys doing all the same thing at the same time, and then sometimes it's a wave of movement or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're equally cool. How
Yeah.
hard is that to be exactly like symmetrical or whatnot?
Well, each dancer is kind of counting in their head throughout the dance. So you count along with the song, and then you just remember like this move is on this count and this move is on that count.
So how does that work then for like let's say a state championship? How long is the event? Are you guys dancing for 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Like how long does the routine go?
Each team is able to do 3 routines that are between 2 and 3 minutes.
Wow. And then you get judged on that. Is there like a kind of like a everybody's in and then the best team wins, or is there like if you drop teams get dropped off? How do they actually score and rank the teams?
So in North Dakota, they start out at the state competition by letting everyone do their dance one time. and then they call back anywhere from like 3 to 6 routines. They go again, and then those are the ones that get placed.
Interesting.
Wow, that's cool.
Absolutely.
So tell me this: as a youth and club dancing, how far did you travel? And I mean, where did you guys go? I mean, I know some of those club dance things. They're pretty
go all
big. They're
over.
in Minneapolis and Fargo and whatnot. Tell me where you've been.
I've been to Colorado, Wisconsin Dells,
Oh,
Texas, Arizona.
Arizona.
that's
Wow.
crazy.
The Wisconsin Dells. Seriously, tell me where you stayed. What's the best slide? I'm a Wisconsin Dell authority. I hold some records there. I just want you to know that. Did you do the light one where you got to hit the lights with the buttons?
Oh,
That's like the
man.
best slide of all time. Come on, tell me some Wisconsin Dell story.
Okay, so we stayed at the Kalahari Resort, and I don't remember the names of the rides, but I like the one that's like a toilet bowl, and you like
Oh, that
spin
one's
around and
cool.
go down.
I think
Yeah.
we used to drive by there about 1,000 times a year on our road trips, heading out east, which is pretty remarkable. Now, obviously, you're going to NDSU, you're going to dance. Talk a little bit about how that process came about. Is that something where somebody came in and took a look at you, or did you go and audition? And then ultimately, what made you actually decide that you want to be a part of, the NDSU dance team?
So we just had tryouts, I think 3 weeks ago now. And then, so we all met at NDSU at the campus in Fargo. And we had 2 days worth of tryouts, including learning 3 different dances and then having interviews. And then at the end of that all, they called us and told us whether we made the team or not.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
So you met the qualifying standards in diving for state, and then you got a concussion. Tell us about that. I mean, how disappointing was it? And did you like your chances at state? How'd you got there?
So I got my concussion the week of WGA, and I had just got this new dive. It's where you do a backflip and then you kind of do a dive out of that. So you go in head first. And I just like smacked my head on the water. And yeah, it was pretty bumming just like missing state my senior year, but they still took me with to the state meet. So I still got to experience it with everyone, just not compete.
So, now talk a little bit about too, like you go to our Redeemers, but now you compete at Minot High. I mean, we understand there's co-ops obviously involved that allow those types of things. I had a buddy of mine that went to Bishop Ryan, played hockey at Minot High, and those type of things. But how was that dynamic? Were the girls embracing you? Or was it feeling a little bit out of place, just transitioning from going to school at our Redeemers to hurry across town to Minot High? But how was that process like?
For me, it was really smooth. I already knew some of the girls going into all of the teams that I joined. So there wasn't really like any awkwardness or anything with that. And it was really easy. All the coaches would always accommodate for different events at our Redeemers that didn't line up with mine at High or the other way around.
When you're a complete baller, everyone accepts you.
Absolutely,
Without
evidently.
question. So, what event do you do in track?
So I've done track for the past 3 years and I did sprints and jumps.
So, how are you doing this spring? You have a chance to
I
qualify?
am not doing track this year.
You're not doing track this year. Getting ready for the
No,
Bison,
I'm not.
right? The Bison,
Yep.
not the Sioux,
Oh,
not the Sioux. So, Wade. So we have a little debate on here,
Yeah.
and maybe you can settle it for us.
yeah.
What is North Dakota's favorite team? Sioux hockey
This is a biased answer.
or
by the
Bison
way.
football? Come on, give us a
Definitely Bison football.
definitely Bison
She just
football.
walked into that. That's a softball that went like 20 miles an hour, and she just hit it out of the.
Well, because
left
it is a
field stands.
softball, because everyone knows the Bison is the team, right? I
my
mean, Bison's the
goodness.
team.
Unbelievable.
Hey, last question. Tell us what's awesome about our Redeemers, and Jake Stack over there, the AD.
Does
Tell
a
us about
tremendous
that.
job.
Yeah, he does an amazing job. The guy's
sure.
a total baller. But go ahead, you tell us.
Probably my favorite thing about our Redeemers is how small it is, and you kind of get that like Class B community still living in a town like Minot.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I think we've seen the growth, and obviously see the other sports and stuff like that. I mean, there's just a lot more excitement that certainly has been there. And of course, at our Redeemers, I drive by there all the time. They got a beautiful new gym. It seems like that school's seen some updates in recent times, which is really inviting for sure.
And so thanks for coming on. And all you out there, if you really enjoyed this interview and you like her, come on over to Minot Nutrition Addiction North because she's my newest employee.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're just waiting for this little plug.
Why not? Why not?
I just think that you get these people requesting, and of course, you got to get an employee.
Let me ask you this.
All the employees?
Would I hire a non-baller? I would not. Total baller. Total baller. Total baller, just like our shake shop.
I hope your boss is flexible with your schedule here, because I heard he's pretty demanding. So hopefully he works with you in terms of practices. I tell you. But
hey, thanks for coming on, dude.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you. All right. Big thank you to Mattie for hanging out with us, and of course, Spainer's got to get an M&A plug, but it was good to chat with her about all what's going on with the dance. Now revolving into the high school segment, and Spainer had a big weekend. Of course, if you checked him on TikTok, you would have known that for sure. But in all honesty, man, it feels like you were all over the place. I mean, tell us a little bit about it. Like you were, I saw some softball, some track, did you a little golf in there or whatever. But
golf.
Where were you? Where did all your ventures take?
Well, it was Mandan baseball and Bismarck softball, and then Cooperstown golf, which is a little tournament there. It was pretty good. Did you see the putt from
Yes.
Oh my Lord, that was one of the best putts
Absolutely.
I've ever seen. A little Tiger Woods action or what? And then we had Enderlin baseball. Then we had Fargo softball, and then West Fargo track.
Okay.
Shanley went to Shanley girls soccer against the little Grand Forks there, and good game by the way, 1-0 game. It was a fun Shanley student section I was with there. That was interesting. And then back to Fargo softball, and then to Northern Cass track. We kind of ended the weekend there, and that was good. It was good.
So what was your of all the weekend you saw? I mean, obviously you go there to cover them all, but was there point out a couple big highlights? Was there like a shocking game, some plays, or maybe a team that kind of surprised you, like, holy cow, they're way better than I anticipated?
I saw some really interesting things. It was super windy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
all over the place.
No joke, one of the windiest weekends I've ever been. I saw a West Fargo kid hit 10 flat in 2 miles in the wind. And it was hot wind, too. It wasn't like it was cool, you know what I mean? I thought that was really cool. I mean, maybe rolling in sub 10 there. I don't know if you know, but North Dakota was the best 2-mile competition in any state in America last year.
Really?
3 kids under 9.
Wow.
Under 9 for 2 miles.
That's insane.
That rarely happens in the whole country. North Dakota had 3 in a year.
Really?
Yeah, it was like ridiculous.
Were those kids committed anywhere? Like, that's pretty impressive.
2 of them are gone running, and one was a freshman.
No way.
Yeah, he's a sophomore now.
Insane.
Anyway, so I saw some fantastic tracks, some fast kids. By the way, Dickinson is legit in softball.
Really?
We've talked about this already.
Yeah.
So Dickinson, last year won state. They lost the WDA title to Bismarck. Their only other loss was Central Cass, who won Class B. So they had beat Dickinson. They played this weekend. The defending state A, the defending state B. The stud pitcher from Cass is gone. So you expect Dickinson to walk all over these guys. 1-1, goes extra innings. Dickinson wins in extra innings. And crazy, Central Cass had a girl, bases loaded, and they poke one into right. They send the girl from third scores. They send the girl from second. She gets gunned down at home.
No way.
Dickinson twice gets thrown out stealing at third. They're trying to get a girl third with less than 2 outs. Central Cass had a girl thrown out at third. And by the way, dead into the wind.
Oh,
Dead into the wind. Dickinson, 3 innings in a row, have a girl at third with less than 2 outs. And Central Cass comes up with huge strikeouts. Didn't even let the ball get into the field. It was just an unbelievably quality game. There's the pitcher, Taylor, from Beulah.
Okay.
Might be the best pitcher in the state right now. She's a sophomore. Maybe she had 29 in the ACT.
Oh,
I nicknamed her
yikes.
the professor.
Yikes, that's high.
She 3-hit Dickinson, Beulah did.
Jeez.
Bunch of errors behind her, and they ended up losing. They were up 4 runs on Dickinson. Beulah was. Velva, pitcher, lights out, smoked Fargo South. And these are big schools, you know, for little schools to be beating them. It's interesting. I had a conversation with a guy. Dickinson was about to play Valley City. And he's like, this will be a good game. We beat them in the summer. And I said, you know, I don't think anyone's beating Dickinson. He goes, oh, no. I said, no, I'm just telling you. In the summer, Dickinson plays as Dickinson, and everyone else forms a bunch, you know, all-star teams, you know. And it was like they had like 5 or 9 runs or something in the first inning. It's kind of crazy. I saw some good. There was some good track. Evan Richmond from. I saw a million schools. Maple River.
Okay.
Evan Rich. He's qualified in a small Class B.
Yep.
Track meet in Northern Cass in the wind. He qualified for state in 3 events.
Did that, like, the weekend, was the weather a huge factor? Like, was it like across all the sports, or was it just something you battled, or was it like, oh my God, like, you know, kids were, you know, hitting the ball so hard if they were, you know, facing the wind and stuff, or against the wind?
The
and all that
ones
stuff?
against the with the wind, the scores were like 17-15. The ones against the wind, the scores were like 1-0. So it's kind of crazy. The highlight of the weekend, I have it on film. You can't hear because of the wind, and she didn't have the microphone, but I filmed her. She walked up to the meet director. This is awesome. So she's watching. She get ready to do the 2 mile, and she's watching the 200s, right? And they flip the 200s so they go with the wind.
Okay.
And she says, "That's, you know, like she's kind of like, why? That seems not very fair." You know, she's kind of trying to figure it out. And she goes, "They should do that for the 2 mile." And I'm like, you know, you go all the way around the track for the 2 mile. And I said, maybe you should ask him, you know, maybe you should go, run the track there and, you know, maybe pause it and walk across the track.
Yeah.
She walks up to the meet director and says, "Hey, can we run the 2 mile?" She's
Oh my God.
And you can stop the clock. We'll walk across. Then we just do 16 times.
Oh, jeez.
Guys like looking at her like,
oh my God,
that's a pretty good idea, but I don't think we're gonna do it.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So you know, the one things I noticed is there's some quality athletes.
Mm-hmm.
There's some high character kids.
That's good.
I like it. And there's some pretty cool kids too.
Good.
And we had some cool. Been some cool interviews, and it just a lot of fun. So.
No, I wanted to touch on that. So, I mean, obviously, you know, we've got the podcast, which has different platforms, and then we've got TikTok, which I know that they don't usually cross a lot. But tell me a little bit about that, because it seems like, you know, certainly for the crowd that isn't listening, if you don't have TikTok, you probably have no clue what we're talking about. But it has absolutely exploded. And we talked about this on a couple other podcasts about the need to cover, you know, more high school sports, and, you know, the traditional newspapers and, you know, TV and stuff like that only do so much. But you've been able to just make an inroad, and it's exploded, man. You must get people that just like you've told me that they're cheering for you, yelling at you, they're waving at you, they all want to get an interview, they all want to be in TikToks. But tell us a little bit about that aspect of how it's exploded. Like, it's just been huge.
Well, you know, it's interesting, and the thing is that there's a lot of cool kids in North Dakota, you know, and I just think we've highlighted it. I mean, I'll tell you, I roll into Enderlin. I watched this walk off, by the way. Mm-hmm. Kid smashes the ball against the wind off the wall. Really awesome walk off. And then, you know, and I'm walking around. I run into these Oaks kids, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Banner," you know. And I'm talking to these kids, you know, and I said, "Hey, let's roll. Let's do an interview here. Oaks, you got a baseball game coming up." And this Cooper Quant kid is awesome. Oh the interview was amazing, you know. And these 2 kids walk up behind him.
Okay, hold on. Let's stop. We want to watch this.
Okay.
I want to take a look, and I want to give our viewers a little bit of home backstory. Of course, you see them on there, but I want to know some of the backstory, because I've seen it, and it's crazy. And then I love how you throw them under the bus with your minor league stuff. But roll it. Let's take a look at this.
Hey, this is Spanner from Spanner Rig Show. We're out here watching a little Oaks baseball. You guys are going to play against Hatton North Hatwood. I'm not sure. They couldn't figure it out earlier when I was talking to them. But we're watching Thompson Kindred baseball here. Who do you got in this game?
Right now I got Thompson.
So in a couple innings, it might change?
No, I still think Thompson's going to win.
He likes Thompson. All right, I like that. This is Cooper here from Oaks, and he's got his looks like his crew, his Guido bodyguards over here. I like that. Do you kind of run the show around here? This guy's like the Godfather.
He looks like the Godfather.
You walk, and you part everyone like the Red Sea.
Yep, they call me Moses.
Call him Moses.
Call me Moses.
How do you handle, like, you don't take any takes, you just let it roll, right?
Yeah, we just roll with it, man.
Tell
me something here. What position you play?
First base.
First base. That's probably the fun of it. I make mistakes. Yeah, you got you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. All right, you got a big stick?
Sometimes. Yeah.
How many bombs you got this year?
About 0.
He has to hesitate because he had 0.
About 0. I got that. Okay, so
I love how you repeated it.
I like that. So Oaks, tell me what's Oaks? Are they like big time sports town? Are they like?
Is Oaks actually big time sports?
You like Kindred, don't you? You Kindred fan?
Yeah,
I think Oaks is
better
the
than
town.
people know because they just underneath. Oaks is a town.
Well,
Kindred who?
Been,
Now Kindred said that Oaks is Kindred's junior varsity. Is that true?
We're actually the varsity. Kindred's the junior varsity.
Oh boy, is that gonna stay?
I like that. Okay, so tell me, you like a lot of sports. What's your favorite baseball team?
The Minnesota Twins.
Oh, I like that. He likes minor league baseball. How about football?
The Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings. All right, he likes like USFL football.
Oh my
God! All right, I like that. Here we go. Oaks. Hatton Northwood today. Oaks needs this win here. I'm gonna take Oaks by
that's hilarious. But
5
honestly,
runs.
Though, like
think that's a good prediction.
Yeah,
you're going into these things with like kind of
make it 10. He's
gonna
go double down here. Earlier today when I was in Cooperstown, I learned that Bismarck is the Las Vegas of North Dakota. So I'm going to go to Bismarck, and I'm going to double down on that and put Oaks by 10. All right, boom. And for the most part, I think some of they're very comfortable kids, and I think that's what's fun about it. They're good kids, and that's what makes it good.
Well, they're the ones that are drawing the attention to be on there, and they're the ones that are sharing it and liking it. And I know we've had a couple earlier TikToks where some of those earlier ones where we posed the question of Bison football and UND hockey, and that really took off. And even a couple of those ones where we were doing some of our competition stuff on with Class A and Class B and those areas. But yeah, it's incredible. And then of course I did get assaulted, by the way. Oh, did you? Oh, jeez. I was at a Class A baseball or something, and there was a bunch of kids in the stand. They're like, "Come on, Spainer, you can't expect Class B kids can hang with Class A kids." Oh, that's hilarious. So I was getting they were giving it to me a little bit, and I told them, I said, "Look, you're gonna tell me that Kindred girls basketball couldn't go to state in Class A? Yeah. Come on. Oh, and all I said is they could finish top 4. Oh boy. If anyone tells me that Kindred girls basketball can't finish top 4 in Class A, they're outside their minds. Oh boy. Okay, we got another one we wanted to show, and this is with bring us in. This is a Botno girl. This is softball. This is when you said there was like an absolute ton of teams, right? It was like some sort of like what do you call it? It's called Softball Fest or something. Okay. 33 teams, I think. Okay, let's roll this one. Hey, this is Spanner for the Spanner and Rig Show. We're out here at Fargo Softball Fest. There's like 62,000 teams here. Is that right?
So many teams. So many teams.
So many teams. Botno, we ran into an ace pitcher here in Mayport, but yesterday we were able to squash some Jaguars. Is that right?
You're right. We did for sure.
So you do double sports right now. You're track and softball, and I'm hearing that you qualified for the 100 yesterday for state yesterday. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, and you did that where in rugby?
Yeah, that was in Rugby, North Dakota.
I don't know. So you playing softball yesterday in Fargo. You're running track and rugby. You didn't realize there was a track meet here in Fargo yesterday?
I was not aware of that. No.
Mo. Okay, so she's super fast, but not quite aware of her surroundings yet. But the team loves her. She's number one on the field, number 1 in track, number 1 in their hearts. Is that right, guys? She's number 1. Her jersey's number 1. Botno. They've posted on my comments. They say they got the best student section in the state,
in
hockey section.
are you guys going to back that up this fall in football, basketball?
They get the
Oh,
benefit of the rugby
100%.
kids too,
100% we
though.
will.
Rugby's got a
100%.
legit student
Whiteboard and we're good to go.
So that
Bring
helps.
out the whiteboard.
They're high
Okay,
quality.
so
You can tell
I've
it's
heard-
windy as crap out there. It's just windy. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
the whole weekend.
the whole weekend it was hot wind and it was hissing. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. No, when we talked about, like, I remember those times where, like, Minot High would play Botno High and hear all the stories of, like, Botno would, when we played the Lumberjacks, they would always bring the chainsaws and rev those things up, and they would throw, it got so intense, they would throw, like, rabbits on the ice, and you'd have to stop the game and all that sort of thing. That's how crazy their student section got. They would grab it, or when we played the Beavers back in the day, they would throw beavers on the ice, and needless to say, need a lot of shovels to scrape up all the stuff. But that's just what the rivalry was back in the 90s in terms of that stuff. The other one we want to see is soccer. Soccer is a big one, and of course we don't hold any secrets here. I mean, big time soccer guy and big time hockey guy. But this one, I tell you, there's some bold statements in here, and you really got them out of her. And but they're legit though, and she's legit too as well. But let's tell us a little bit about this one. She's a big time soccer star, isn't she?
She's big time. She dominated that game. She's turning players, she's combining with players, and they moved her around. And then at the end of the game, they couldn't get that second goal, so they moved her to center mid to kind of like just hold on to that one goal lead in a game that they should have won by 3 or 4 goals.
And isn't she she's going somewhere too? Isn't
Grand
she?
Canyon
Oh,
University.
man.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
She's a
man.
good player and super articulate, and that's what I like about this. To let these kids talk, and not just the athletes, the student sections, the fans. I mean, I'm going to these spring games, and there's kids there. I showed up to a soccer game, and there was a big student section, and they had Spainer and Riggs posters.
No way.
They're holding them up, and I'm
Well,
like,
what was
holy
the one you
smokes.
had with the logo, your with your face on there too? Like, if people want those, guys are wearing them, and I'm like, I think at one time I texted you guys, and I was like, what's going on here? Did this guy buy it? And did he knock it off? You're like, no, I gave it to him, but of course he wanted it. Right?
Hey, this is Spanner for the
let's
Spanner
roll
Rig
this
Show.
one.
We're out
This
here,
is
a little
another good
Shanley
one here.
Soccer with Elsa Wambach. Any relation to Abby?
No, unfortunately not.
Did she steal all your height and you got hers? What's going on there?
Taller than me.
That's Shanley.
So maybe one day you'll break her
They
all-time
don't
scoring
stay
record.
every 4
Maybe,
years or
yeah, that's the
something.
goal.
Shanley, 1-0 win. You look good all game. You put pressure on their defense. It looked like you could go at them on the dribble. You're looking to combine. Tell me about the game.
We didn't really know what to expect tonight. We've had an unexpected start to the season, but now I think we're going to go full out with it, hard intensity. So we really put it all out there tonight.
So Davies is lead the East. So can you guys run down Davies?
Yeah, actually the first half we had them 0-0.
Is there any crossover
I think,
during the
almost,
season?
but then,
Why
yeah,
not beat Shanley?
they got us.
You can get them in the
Next time.
Eastern Conference Championship game?
Yeah, not quite. Well,
The other
we'll see.
crossover got canceled.
Okay, so you were, I think you guys were Minot's closest game last year in the state tournament, is that right?
No, we were 4th place last year.
Yeah, but didn't you play Minot in the semifinals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was 1-0. That was the only
Oh,
close.
yeah, it was 0-0 to
Yeah,
like
a
almost
freshman,
the end.
Emerson Perrin.
Like
scored
1
in the
minute to
last
go, I
minute.
think, right, or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, so
That was the tense game.
can
They won
anyone
state
derail
championship,
the
but they
Minot
lost
train?
championship.
Oh, for sure, yeah. The East has got it this year.
Whoa, that's
East
a bold
has it this year.
statement.
East went 3-1 in the
Are people
first round
watching
last
this
year.
behind it? We're-
This year, East's going to
Is
sweep
there
the
any
West
comments
Oh,
about that
for
bold
sure, yeah.
statement? Boy,
for
that's bold.
sure. She
East
says.
is gonna
I like
sweep.
that.
And
I do want to tell you,
the
mine
interesting
hasn't
thing
lost
about
since
that statement
2019.
is that
But I
for
think
them to sweep, the 4 seed from the East has to beat
Minot.
the big bad bear coming Minot.
But so 2 through 4 in the West isn't good enough?
I don't think so, man.
Really? Like, is it because Bismarck's like so watered down, or what's the backstory? Really? That's
Bismarck has Addie Massey, freshman, Bismarck High. Really good. They got Reese Voracek, signed at UND. Really good. So they have 2 of the best players in the state.
tough.
But it starts to drop off when you talk about Minot.
Yep.
Minot's got like 6 girls signed to the Northern Sun. I mean, they're like legit, right?
Yep.
And then one of the best girls in the West is Oakley Will for Bismarck Legacy. Interesting thing. I watched Minot. I was down in Bismarck and I saw there was a game at the bowl. Minot versus Legacy. Legacy played a high flat back four, high. So a ton, and their goalie was on the goal line, not even at the 18.
Jeez.
So there's this a huge space.
Yep.
They're against the wind against Minot. Minot has 3 track stars, both Burt girls who finished in the state finals in the 100 meter, playing up top. And the game's like 8-0 at halftime.
Crazy.
And I'm just like, holy smokes. But I don't know. Mandan could win a game at state, I think.
Okay. Well,
they're good enough, but they lost they lost. I think they lost to Bismarck. No, they tied Jamestown. But either way, I predict the East goes 3-1. Minot beats Davies in the state championship would be my guess.
Okay. Now to summarize, when we were talking about TikTok, I know you've enjoyed I shouldn't say we, it's been predominantly you as with the Spain and Rigs, but it's been pretty cool. It's been remarkable because when you ever put content on the internet, you just never know what to expect. But it really has exploded. But you've been pointed out. It's you're just there to just highlight the athletes and it's them and the student sections.
Not even just the kids. And I think the most awesome thing about it is how just high character and fun kids in North Dakota are.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people need to understand. I mean,
those,
the Maya Vibettos and the Malia Burke and Elsa Wambach and Cooper Kwan, Lucas Kablunde, Abby Dusher. She's going to Alabama. We got high quality athletes, high character, high quality kids, but most important, fun.
Yeah, like those student section stuff and like the ones where you got like the Will Ferrell one and all those type of things. Like
fun kids. Jake Deutsch, 5 sport varsity kid for Central Cass.
Yikes.
He goes to state and everything,
Crazy.
I don't know if you saw that TikTok. It was pretty funny. I said, I've been out golfing once. I got my best score, 92. I said, are you below or above 90? I'm below, 99. I said, are you going to go to state? He says, no, I will not go to state in golf. He goes to state, he went to state and everything else. He lost the state championship in wrestling. And he was the point guard for Central Cass, right? They were probably the second or third best team in the state,
Yep.
And anyway, I said, so what you're saying is Spainer wouldn't make state in golf. He goes, Spainer would not make state in golf.
That's hilarious.
So,
but it's engaging though. Like when you talk about, like when you walk into gyms and you see them there, people are excited, like the student sections, and you've done a few of those, especially in basketball, but it's pretty cool, man. Like it's just that excitement. And then not only that, it also, as much as you're, having a little fun, asking some questions, it does give the chance for them to, highlight who they're, what school they're from and who the rivalries are. It gets people to learn. Like I wouldn't learn some of the stuff that, between various schools that unless I just saw it on a TikTok. And then maybe that's something in the future that we really got to maybe highlight, like rivalries, which is the biggest rivalries in the state. Because we talk about the Bison NDSU, which was number 1 on ESPN for like all of college, which I found pretty remarkable. But anyways, one more thing to button up. Kind of final thoughts on TikTok. Just, I mean, it's remarkable where that's taken off. So one of our fans
love the kids. I love the kids, and it wouldn't be big without them being just exceptionally cool. I mean, I just think that there's just cool.
Absolutely.
They're just cool kids. I mean, just watch the videos. They're engaging.
For sure.
And remember, we're 2-minute videos. 2 for 30, 130, 1-2, but generally on the average 2-minute videos, and that in the algorithm would tell you that it will not go because you got to watch them through.
Yeah,
the kids are so engaging that
wait
people are watching all the way through,
the
and then that's why it's blowing up. It's because the kids are so cool. That's my opinion.
And there's no script, right? So in other words, you go out there and we're exciting. So if you definitely, I know we've seen it. I've seen those videos, even the M&A one we watched, and someone's like, come to Cheyenne or come to wherever, stuff like that. But you want us to be involved. You want to see this guy at your local event, whatever sport it is. Tag us.
I got invited to go.
And then complain when he doesn't show up.
I got invited to go to prom and do interviews.
Oh, Lord. I tell you, Spain and Riggs prom edition. What are you going to be, rating the dresses and the tuxes or what? Is that how they go to it?
What's that one TikTok? A little hand for the dress.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, let us know, especially the Spainer. Tag us. We want to see you involved, where you want him to go next. We'll see ya. Another great episode here on Spainer and Riggs. We're going to definitely dive in next week, probably touch on a little bit more spring sports. We're also probably going to dabble into Mr. Cowboy fan here and his Super Bowl draft experience. We want to make sure you check out exactly what he did for it. And make sure you check us out on all of our social media platforms. This is the Spainer and Riggs Show, brought to you by the Dakota Network.